Well, hello everybody. So, come back to y'all about that little 5-month-old baby that was stolen away from mom and daddy. So, I got some breaking news that has been given to me. So, I've been sitting here reading over the documents and everything. This is the documents of the case, and this is just a little bit of it. The rest of it's down here in a box. So, been reading back over it. So, been a little confused about a lot of stuff. So, gonna jump into this right here. Now, on the affidavit, and the mom and daddy does have a lawyer's appointment tomorrow. So, they're going to talk to a lawyer, find out what can be done about the lies that this little girl from Georgia has told, and try to expose this judge out of Sharp County, Arkansas, Ash Flat, Arkansas, expose how corrupt she is. Okay, now, I've been reading over a few things. We got some things here that's highlighted. So we're going to look over this right here and we're going to talk a little bit about it. Okay. Now, here, I'm going to read here the affidavit that this little girl, the thief, had filed on the daddy. Okay, it says his name. I can't call his name. Has trafficked 3 of his children on an 18-wheeler for 6 years. Okay. Now, trafficking means that you sold children to different individuals across state lines. Okay. Now, whenever she was asked about it, it says, like, well, we were in an 18-wheeler. Then the lawyer says, what do you mean when you say you were trafficked? And I'm reading this off of here. So, what do you mean when you say you were trafficked? Everybody knows trafficking means that you sell a child across state lines, or you traffic drugs across state lines, or you do something within that area. Okay, now her response was, we were crossed over state lines for years where the beating took place. Okay, now, they asked, were you trafficked? She said that she was took over state lines. Okay, she took over state lines. Does that mean that she was trafficked? Huh? Does that mean that she was trafficked? And then she says, the lawyer asking says, so were you ever sexually abused? And she says, not by the daddy that I can recall. Okay, but now, in her affidavit, this is her affidavit that she wrote about her daddy, says the daddy has trafficked 3 of his children. Okay, and then she goes on down and says that the daddy sold his son to men and has molested several of his own children. Okay, here she says she was never trafficked. She was never sold. She was never physically abused in any way. Okay, now, so as it goes on, I'm going to try to find it right here real quick. But as it goes on, somebody had told her that she was trafficked. She didn't even know it. There was somebody that told her that she had been trafficked. Okay, now, this is coming from a dummy that is got a high school education, got a college degree in stupidness, and she is a liar. this girl is a bald-faced liar. Okay? She's a liar. That's the only thing I can say about her. She is a worthless piece of trash liar. Only thing she done is she said something to make her daddy look bad, make her daddy look like a criminal. And whenever it come down to it, she convinced the courts that the daddy was a bad person. Okay? And right here, the stupid judge condemned Diddy all over again for something that happened 13 years ago. I told y'all that Diddy did get arrested for cruelty toward children. Now, I looked up the difference between child abuse and cruelty to children. They're nothing the same. Cruelty to children just means it's a fancy word for courts to say, okay, we think something happened, but we just don't know what. Okay? And this is the judge right here making a stupid remark for something that happened 13 years ago, something she had no idea at what happened. And this is a blonde female judge. I wish to God I could call her name out. But she's itching to throw anybody in jail that talks bad about her, because she's stupid. So she writes in this right here, the court would go further to note that it finds it more likely than not that during this time respondent, the daddy, participated in the sexual abuse of his own children prior to their removal, and further, that he allowed others to engage in sexual abuse of them. Now, just a question, okay? How many people out there that if they were being sexually abused, they don't want to say nothing about it? Okay, because in the state of Georgia where all this happened at, the daddy was never arrested for sexual abuse about child pornography or child sexual molesting, pedophile, whatever all that stuff is. Okay, he was never arrested for that. Okay, he was arrested for cruelty toward children. Now, if you go and look it up on the internet, what is the difference between child abuse and cruelty toward children? You look it up. Child abuse is a physical attachment to the child. Like you hit them with something or you beat them with something or something like that. Cruelty to children is just a fancy word that says, hey, you know, he done something, but we just don't know what he done. Okay? I might even still have it picked up right here. I do. Actually, I do. Right there. Right there. So I'll read it to you. In general, child abuse is a board formal term that includes various forms of harm inflicted on a child, while cruelty toward children, more commonly referred to as cruelty to children or child cruelty, is often a more specific, sometimes legal term for a certain category of abuse, often implying malicious or a severe standard of mistreatment. Okay? Now, I don't like this judge, and I think this judge got about as much common sense as a donkey. She looks kind of like a donkey, so if y'all ever go to Sharp County, look for a judge that looks like a donkey. You'll find her. All right. Everything that I can see right now, I'm going with the daddy and mama to the lawyer's office tomorrow. Because I've took really personal into this case because they were falsely accused by a donkey. So right here, now this is in the findings of this judge that claims to be a judge. This is her findings. The court finds that during this period, there was extreme child abuse. This is something that happened 13 years ago in Calhoun, Georgia. All right. Something that happened 13 years ago in a whole different state that she has nothing to do with. There's nowhere in the record that there were any extreme abuse found. Okay? She wrote that on there to make it pick up, make it sound more dominant, make it sound more ferocious. You know? It's kind of like, you ever seen people, they'll have pit bulls, they'll have them on these great big chains, and they'll have beware the dog. And then the dog is left outside, and he can barely drag the chain around the tree, let alone attack somebody. You just kind of put that on there to make you look more beefier, more dominant, make you scared more. Okay? That's what this stupid judge done. Okay? That there was extreme child abuse. There was no child abuse. Okay, the boy admitted that he got his face bruised. Now, his face was bruised up. I mean, I give him that. His face was bruised up pretty daggone bad. But he admitted that it was because he ran into the landing gear on the trailer of an 18-wheeler. He admitted it. He said he hit it so hard he knocked himself out. Okay, Diddy didn't do it. Diddy didn't have nothing to do with that. He's the one that ran into it. Diddy didn't push him into it or just pick him up by his shirt collar and his breeches and throw him into it or whatever. Okay, he hit that on his own. Okay, the daughter, she had little bitty pink welts on her back. Let me show you what she accused Diddy of hitting her with. I've already put this in one of my videos. Is this right here. Okay. I do trucking. I mean, I drive trucks. I'm actually home. I got to leave back out tomorrow or maybe Wednesday or whatever. But this is what they accused him of beating her with. Now, if you'll look, y'all see that little lip right there? There's a lip right there. Y'all see that little lip? That right there will tear the hide off of a grown man. I know. These right here are used to hold the tarps down on a flatbed trailer. When you tarp a load, this is what they use to hold the tarps down. Okay? This right here is about a, let's see, it's a 15-inch, what it shows. Okay? Now, the daddy is about as big as I am. Actually, he's probably a little bit bigger than me back then. Okay? Now, you hit somebody, a little child, 12 years old. She was 12 years old at the time when this happened. You hit that 12-year-old with that lip right there. And I mean to tell you, it's going to tear the hide off her back. Even the judge in Georgia had enough common sense to know if a mad man hits you with that right there, they ain't going to be just little bitty pink whelps on your back. They're going to be bloodshot whelps. They're going to be hide moved. Even the judge in Georgia knew that. But this stupid judge here, she's got about as much common sense as a doodle bug. Older people, they know what doodle bugs are. But ask an old timer, they'll tell you what a doodle bug is. But so I've hit myself with these right here. I've right across the face with them, and I mean to you, they don't leave little pink whelps. They leave blisters that you can take your fingernail and pop, and it pours blood out of them. Call them blood pockets. Okay, that's what these do. They don't leave pink whelps. All right. So, moving on, this daughter that stole this baby is now living it up because she's getting $500 a month off of the daddy. And she thinks she's got everything made now because, you know, she's got a judge that's backing her. And the judge is about as cruel as she is, and about as worthless as she is, and about as big a thief as what she is. So, I told y'all the other day that I will find a picture of the baby and send y'all a picture of the baby. I don't know if I've actually got pictures on this phone right here. I probably don't, because I think I've erased them all. But, you know, I will get y'all pictures. But now going back to the daughter, now this is how extreme that the daughter wanted everybody to make this daddy out to be. Now, the court finds that there is an extreme child abuse. Now, this court in Arkansas, Ash Flat, Arkansas, but the court in Georgia couldn't find this extreme abuse that this stupid judge is trying to say. Okay? So, other than physical abuse, this is the lawyer asking, or the judge, or one asking the daughter. So, other than physical abuse from the daddy, was there other abuse that you can recall? Okay, the daughter says, or the thief says, there was verbal, mental, medical, all of it. Still no sexual abuse. Okay, she says all of it. Okay, I got a recording from the brother that says that judge was coaching this girl at what to say to keep the paper trail down to where nobody could find it and come back on. Neither one of them. All of it. What is all of it? Okay, if somebody asked me, well, what do you haul on an 18-wheeler? I'd say all of it. All what? Shows how stupid this judge and this little lying, worthless sack of trash of a daughter really is. Now, then she goes to make things even more spicier. You remember the bulldog I was talking about a while ago? Then she goes to make it a little bit more spicier. She's got to make it more dominant to where that people think that, oh, the daddy was so daggone cruel. The daddy was so mean. So, she's telling the judge here that we never went to doctors. Now, understand this. To start off with, before I even read this right here. There is a mama involved in all this. Okay? So, whatever reason that they pinpointed the daddy, for everything, not the first thing led to mama. Not the first thing the mama hold any accountability for. Every bit of it belongs straight to the daddy. All the way from the educational neglect to the doctor neglect, all the way to the oh God, everything. Not one specific thing. All of it. Remember? All of it. Just the daddy neglected and all of it. Didn't let them go to school. And I know for a fact that they used the program School of Tomorrow. I know for a fact that they did use that. Okay, but anyhow, I'm going to go and I'm going to read this right here. This is her trying to beef it all up. Because remember, here, she's talking about how her daddy molested them and trafficked them across the United States and all that bull crap. Okay, now here, she's trying to beef it up, try to make it sound more spicier, make it sound more, oh, pitiful us. We were done so bad as children. Now, here is highlighted. So, she says, we never went to doctors. The daddy was an over-the-road truck driver, so why didn't that fall back on mama? I don't know. My sister actually died whenever she was 2 due to an asthma attack. Okay. But the sister was in court on court day. She's like 20 years old now, but she died. Okay. Said my sister actually died due to an asthma attack where he refused to take her to the doctor. See, that's a lie. He took her to Heber Springs Medical Center in Heber Springs, Arkansas. And I told y'all the story about that they left her on the couch. You know, she sleeps all the time because she's a very active little girl. She was about 5, or she was about 2, 3 years old at the time. Well, I guess she was 2. And she was very active, always moving, always running, always playing, always jumping on everything. So they left her asleep on the couch, mom and daddy did. They went in there and they ate and said that they'll feed her when she woke up. So she didn't wake up, and after they got done eating, Mama went over there to check on her, and yeah, I mean, she was blue around the lips. So she called the daddy over there, and the daddy said, well, you know, something's not right. We need to get her to the hospital. So they put her in their old truck at the time and drove her up to Heber Springs Medical Center up there. They admitted her in, said that she did fall unconscious, I guess, because of lack of oxygen. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. But here she don't say that she felt unconscious because of lack of oxygen. She says that my sister actually died. And that's the word, actually died, right here. I'll show it to you. Right here. My sister actually died, right here. This part right here. My sister actually died from an asthma attack, and he refused to take her to the doctor when she was not breathing. And he did not take her to the emergency room until she turned blue, and she actually died there and had to be life flighted. How many hospitals you see that's going to crank up a helicopter that charges thousands of dollars to take you just a couple miles across town? Okay? For a dead person. Okay? I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I mean, I don't think she was dead. I don't believe nothing like that. But how many people do y'all know, or how many hospitals do y'all know that actually life flights a dead person from one hospital to another hospital? And I know where she's getting at. Whenever she got to Heber Springs, they did have to life fly her to Little Rock, to Children's Hospital in Little Rock. Okay, but she was not dead. See, the oldest daughter just said that right there to beef it up, make it sound more cruel, that daddy is abusive, that daddy is neglecting his children. Try to make it sound more dominant. You know, because when you talk about a 2-year-old dying because mom and dad neglected them, I mean, that's some pretty serious accusations. Okay? The baby never died. That's just some more wild goose chase that this low-life, good-for-nothing daughter is turning around telling people. Oh, she died. She died. But she's alive and well and 20 years old, somewhere around 20 now. She was in court. And God bless her heart, she looked just like her mama. I mean, she looks just like her mama. But, so this judge and this daughter, they work together. They come up with a scheme of a plan. Now, my thoughts on the daughter, I think she's a worthless piece of trash that don't deserve the bread that goes in her mouth. I mean, if you're going to lie and tell stuff like this right here on a good, hardworking man that done everything in life to make a living for her and her siblings, okay, she did not have the best life, no. Okay, most of her life, from time to time, was on an 18-wheeler. Okay, yeah, I mean, that is true. But I'm going to end this one right here, but I will be making another one because there's so much to go over. And this girl, she lives in North Georgia. And I mean to tell you, she's about as worthless as the day is long. I mean, even a rattlesnake wouldn't waste his time biting her because he's probably the one that would die off of the venom off of her. But I got something that I want to look at right here. I'm going to go through here and try to find something else I was wanting to find a while ago, but I wasn't able to find it. But I appreciate the ones of y'all that are reading this and listening to this. The little baby, I can name her name. Her name's Natalia Ann. She was ripped out of her mom and daddy's care over nothing. False accusations. And she was 5 months old at the time. She was not harmed in any way. But the daddy was judged according to something that happened 13 years ago, and that's why the baby was snatched out of his arms. All right. And this dumbass judge told the daddy, well, you can't go around this baby. You can't even be in the same state as this baby, because if you are, I'm going to get you in contempt of court. But you're going to pay $515 a month in child support. Okay, does that even sound fair? Over something that's not even proved out? There's no proof that Diddy done any of this stuff. None. He is not a registered sex offender. He is not a registered child molester. He has not been to jail for any type of child abuse. And as a matter of fact, he's going tomorrow on his way to court. I've talked to him most of the day. And he is going tomorrow to get a police record. All the way from the day he was born until the present day. All you got to do is just go get your fingers printed. They'll pop out your police report. That's what I was told. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all looking at these videos. Appreciate the ones that's following it. But we want to get this little child, this little baby, back to her mom and daddy. And get this sister, daughter, out of these people's lives, because they will be filing restraining orders against her, the old boy's family, and the judge. If we can file it against the judge, that's what they're going to do. So, you know, I'm going to look a little bit more on these documents right here, but I will be making another video. Appreciate y'all watching them. So until then, see ya.